Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Coach Com podcast. So, it is a car-based episode for those that are watching this, because it is Monday, and every Monday we stick a podcast episode out. The week has run away from us a little bit, so this is going to be right on Monday. Title of this episode, going to give my 4-week out update, just over 4 weeks out from competing for the first time. Going to give some updates just around prep in general. But then I am just going to dive into a few bits of why people stay stuck. Talk a little bit about fat loss and how bodybuilding prep can apply, not just to anyone, but the principles from it can apply to everyone. So, first of all, new bodyweight low as of Sunday morning. So that was 79.9 kilos and looking to compete around about 78. I think that is going to be pretty much a stage weight. So, technically the thing of losing 4 pounds in 4 weeks, I guess, but that will depend on obviously things like the carb loading, water manipulation, salt, things like that, just in that sort of peak week and of course show day. So for those that don't know, I am actually going to be doing 4 bodybuilding shows. With that, I'll get to actually compete 5 times. So that is going to be the PCA first timers, and then it's going to be the universe, all being well. Now, hopefully I qualify automatically. If I don't, I am actually going to do the qualifying event anyway the day before, just have another crack at it. Just if for whatever reason my first ever peak for my first ever show goes a little bit wrong, or there's, again, the thing of not qualifying, I am going to still just have a go at qualifying, quite simply just to get the stage time. So the hotel's booked anyway for Derby. I booked that on, it was last night, I think I got that sorted. So I've booked that anyway from Friday until checkouts like Sunday after the universe. So hopefully it's a full weekend where I get to actually just do the universe on the Sunday. But if not, I am going to do the qualifier anyway on Saturday, simply just to get the stage time, regardless of qualifying for the next day. And then it's on to Liverpool the following weekend for the IBFA Liverpool. And that is on the 30th of May. So that's going to be a nice weekend. Yet to book my hotel for that. Have booked the tan though, so I've probably got that the wrong way around. But that's sorted. So there's that, and then we keep the party going with PCA Southwest. So that is going to be another chance to compete the PCA show. And yeah, I mean, the end idea potentially is to maybe qualify for the British at the end of the year. Again, if that doesn't happen, I'm not going to be too disappointed, because I have made the decision and talked over with Kyle, who's been looking after us, as you know, that we are going to do like a full off season. So that is going to be my first off season, where it's just going to be first ever proper off season, where I've not sort of just been trying to do like running or trying to cut and drop body fat. It is going to be a very, very intentional phase where I am trying to build muscle. And I probably will document this a little bit more, but that is going to be down the enhanced route as well. Safely as possible, of course, but that is a decision that I've made, and that is what I want to do. So, of course, there will be health phases in with that. I am, as I say, going to be transparent about that kind of thing as well. But I really want to have a good sort of off season and really stick some muscle on, and come back next year and look at some shows around May, June next year, and then hopefully have a crack at the British next year. That is the idea. That's what I'm pretty much set on. I mean, of course, if I get my ass kicked at these shows and for whatever reason I don't enjoy my stage time, which I highly doubt, then of course I will evaluate it. But that is where I'm at in terms of my mindset and what I'm wanting to do. So a few other little updates I know people are interested in. Energy levels are up and down. Today it's been a very flat day. Yesterday I didn't have any stims at all, so no fat burners, no caffeine, nothing. And it was a very much a day where I was asleep for a lot of it. I got my steps done, 12,000 steps. I had my high carb day, which was 300 grams of carbs. And yeah, I must have slept well over 12 hours throughout the day yesterday. And that's probably just because the pullback of the stims, but also a little bit of fatigue accumulating as well. In terms of mood, a little bit up and down with that. I am finding I'm not getting short-tempered or anything, but just, again, tolerance for not everyone, but certain things I'm just really struggling with in terms of tolerance and bandwidth. Not that it's causing any arguments or snappiness or anything like that, but I just haven't the energy. And that's something that I've really noticed this past week for energy for conversations, certain people. Just part of it. But again, I'm just embracing it, getting on with it. I can't be sort of too worried about that. As long as it's not leading to fights and, not physical fights, but, any verbal problems or anything where I'm upsetting anyone, then I'm trying my best to just be all right with that. And this is the reality of it. This is what I don't want to say stuck with, but this is me for the next 33 days till the first show, and then we evaluate, 8 weeks to come, so on, and just try and retain the look. So this is something I've just got to get used to, this feeling and everything like that, and just embrace it. And it's not easy. I knew it never would be. Prep isn't. I can understand why people potentially do pack it in and that kind of thing, but yeah, it is very much for me at this moment in time. It's something that I need in my life, something that I'm enjoying and I'm excited about. An off season, a growing phase, and yes, coming back next year, regardless of what happens this time. So something that I'll add in as well at this stage, it's very much about your small decisions. I think now, not that I've skipped steps or cardio or, cheated, on diets, things like that. But if you start doing it now, you're going to run into trouble further down the line for when you're in this phase now. I mean, a lot of people have been very positive, saying how close I am. I mean, there was a guy the other day saying, oh, you need your peak weight to be now, you're ready, which is very kind, but there's a lot of mistakes you could make in 33 days. This is where you could literally take yourself from first to last. If you start making a mess of it with the food, start indulging in things you shouldn't, start cheating on diets, everything like that, this is where it can go wrong. To where I'm very much been someone in the past that has been a binge eater. I have been emotionally attached to food. I have had a bad relationship with food. So, it's still there. That sort of elephant in the room, so to speak, whatever, monkey on the shoulder, whatever it is still sort of there and present. I have to respect that and respect, my past and not go back into that. So there is that pressure for sure. It's about the small decisions and it's just about being boring and repeatable. So in terms of this episode as well, I do want to keep it a little bit of a short one. I've done my prep update and now I want to try and give something back. So fat loss and why people stay stuck. These are conversations I have every day, even with some current clients that I've got, who've maybe been restarting on and off, still struggling with things, body confidence in clothes, maybe even things like gym anxiety, that kind of thing. And I want to try and get into this and get round for people. So a lot of what people are getting wrong is restarting again and again. And that's something I did, thinking, I've got this occasion at the weekend, I'm just going to do this, I'll start again Monday. You keep doing that and you're going to get nowhere, because you can very easily undo 5 days in 2. I mean, I've had 5 months of prep. It's going to take more than a weekend for me to ruin it, but at the same time, you turn that into 2 weeks, you will ruin it, So it's about almost, I don't want to say earning the time to ruin something, but you need to be consistent for a long period of time and not be restarting over and over again. That's what's costing you progress in a big way. Something that I come to as well a lot is negotiating with yourself. So this is the thing of, I'm busy tonight, I've got this on, I've got that on, I could go another day. And you take comfort in those decisions. I'll have this food because I feel like I've earned it. I'm going to have this because I've had a good week. I'm going to have this bottle of wine, or I'm going to go out and the drink because I feel I've earned it. This thing of negotiating with yourself and taking comfort in that. I've hit my steps 6 days this week, so that's good enough. That's the thing that costs you from being average, decent shape. Maybe someone looks at you and says, he goes to the gym, you get a little bit of that, but to actually get into the real shape, the proper condition, proper condition where you've got the visible abs, you maybe take further than that, you get, some muscle striations, that kind of thing. You need to not negotiate with yourself. Even as close as I am to a show now, if I was to be negotiate with myself at this stage, this is literally going to cost me placings. Like, it can't happen. That's the problem. It cannot happen. And if you want to get to maybe a physique where I've been in the past, which it was like an okay sort of PT shape, a bit of shape in the arms, that kind of thing. Maybe at my best sort of, 15, 20% body fat. So reasonably sort of healthy, not, brilliant. But to get to where I am now, 7, 8% maybe, you need to be super on it in terms of your structure, and you're not negotiating with yourself. I'm not saying you need to be doing a ton of work and you need to really thrash yourself and drop sort of the weight I've done and get to where I'm at. But if you're wanting to be anywhere near it, you've got to have these stands in place where you're not negotiating, you're just doing what needs to be done. And if anything, you're a little bit boring. Now, on to item number 3. You don't need a new plan. You don't need to keep looking for a new plan all the time. I've must have said this a few times now. I've ran my same training split since November, which has been legs, push, pull, rest, push, pull, rest. And that's the same training split. The only metrics that's changed is I pulled my carbs down, fats have come down a little bit in the back end of prep. The cardio's gone up. So that started around 30 minutes. That's now at an hour, 5 days a week. So the cardio's doubled and the steps have gone from 10 to 12,000. So those are the only variables. We've changed food. We've changed the output. In terms of training, it's the same. In terms of the actual cardio choice as well, it's the same. So someone was asking the other day what cardio I'm doing. Incline treadmill, zone 2, borderline zone 3. In terms of cardio, incline treadmill. So still burn a fair amount of calories, but not hammering the legs. Occasionally there'll be a little bit of bike that I do just for a variation, or if I've got a spin class to cover, I'll do that, but just take it steady again, hitting that zone 2, early zone 3 sort of threshold. Not a lot of resistance on the bike to fatigue the legs, as obviously leg day is priority. So yeah, new plans aren't needed. Some of the best clients that I've had in terms of client results, clients I've still got, have ran the same plan where we've changed maybe cardio, maybe changed your exercise with a weight here and there, but everything stayed the same. We don't need to be looking for the new plan all the time. There's a part of me that sort of thinks, when this off season comes around, yeah, it'd be nice to change the split. But actually, what I've been doing's worked. There probably will be a couple of changes. I know that in an off season, in a growth phase, I need to bring up chest a little bit more, back needs to be brought up a little bit more. But for me in the off season, I know, like I was saying, shoulders need to be brought up, back, chest, that kind of thing. But so that'll be a new plan for me. But I think since running it since like the start of November, that's pretty valid, and I'm allowed to do that in a way. After 6-7 months of running it. So something else, and this used to be me again. Everything I ever say always comes from my experience. It's not preaching as a bodybuilder. It's preaching from the heart of someone that was nearly 20 stone, fat, struggled with confidence, struggled with all the same things a lot of people struggle with now in terms of fitting in clothes they want to, not feeling confident around girls, not being happy in themselves, not liking what they see in the mirror. All those things is like my lived experience that I pass on in what I'm doing. And people avoid discomfort. So discomfort could be anything where you maybe say no to yourself in terms of the food or the drink, and you may be saying yes to steps, yes to doing your cardio, yes to hitting the gym. That can be the very mild end of discomfort. But some of it is the fact where we are just avoiding the discomfort of being consistent, the discomfort of actually sticking to our word. If we say we're going to get into shape, we want to lose weight, we make those promises to ourselves and we're breaking them, we're avoiding that as well. And something else, the last point I'll bring onto this before we wrap this up, is thinking like your old self. So, for example, me in this prep at the minute, me thinking, oh, I've had a good week, I deserve a pizza, I deserve to go to Greg's. That was like about a reel I shared the other week on Instagram about going to Greg's and binging. And that is kind of powerful stuff, but it's the stuff I used to do, seeing food as a reward, seeing the fact that I've earned it, or I've hit my steps all day this week, I can just take it easy on Sunday, or I can just chill out, I've earned this, or I might as well, I'll get back to it Monday. Thinking like your old self is massively going to cost you progress. I know that because I've done it. There was and that used to be me. That was me for, a long time. Don't think like your old self. So that is where I will leave it. Any questions, as always, drop them in the comments or reach out to me on Instagram at Ashton Online Coaching. This is me, 4 weeks out. I think I've pretty much covered all my notes. I've actually written them out today. So yeah, the last thing I will say is you don't need more information. You don't need to. A lot of lads already know what to do. They already know how to get into shape. They stop restarting, stop, this circle that you're in, start sticking to what you say, start executing it every day. So let's wrap this one up there. Thank you as always for listening. Thank you for all the supporting prep's been unbelievable, and I'm looking forward to keeping you all up to date with it. For anything, coaching inquiries, questions, anything you like, Ashton Online Coaching's the place to be. God bless you. Catch you in the next one.